solid portion of the Earth is called the lithosphere. It is made up of the rocks of the Earth's crust and the thin layers of soil that contain nutrient elements which sustain organisms. Now, there are two divisions of the Earth's surface. The large land masses are known as the continents. The huge water bodies are called the ocean basins. All the oceans of the world relate to one another. The level of seawater remains the same everywhere. Elevation of land is measured from the level of the sea, which is taken as 0. There are 7 major continents of the world. Asia is the largest continent out of the 7. It covers 1/3 of the total land area of the Earth. The continent lies in the eastern hemisphere and the Tropic of Cancer passes through this continent. Asia is separated from Europe by the Ural Mountains on the west. The combined landmass of Europe and Asia is called Eurasia, Europe plus Asia. Africa is the second largest continent after Asia. The equator or the OO latitude runs almost through the middle of the continent. A large part of Africa lies in the northern hemisphere. It is the only continent through which the Tropic of Cancer, the equator and the Tropic of Capricorn passes through. North America is the third largest continent of the world. It is linked to South America by a very narrow strip of land called the Isthmus of Panama. The continent lies completely in the northern and western hemisphere. South America lies mostly in the southern hemisphere. The Andes, world's longest mountain range, runs through its length from north to south. South America has the world's largest river, the Amazon. It is connected to North American continent. Europe is much smaller than Asia. The continent lies to the west of Asia. The Arctic Circle passes through it. It is bound by water bodies on 3 sides. It is connected to Asia and both Asia and Europe share the Ural Mountains. Australia is the smallest continent that lies entirely in the southern hemisphere. It is surrounded by the oceans and seas. It is called an island continent. It comes under the Oceania continent and is at the lower bottom of the southern hemisphere. An interesting thing about Australia is that the seasons work opposite here. It is winter during the summer months and summer during the winter month. Antarctica. This continent is completely in the southern hemisphere. It is a huge continent. The South Pole lies almost at the center of this continent. As it is in the South Polar region, it is permanently covered with thick ice sheets. There are no permanent human settlements. Many countries have research stations in Antarctica. India also has research stations there. These are named as Maitree and Dakshin Gangotri. Hydrosphere consists of water in all its forms, the running water in oceans and rivers and in lakes, ice in glaciers, underground water, and the water vapor in atmosphere, all comprise the hydrosphere. More than 97% of the Earth's water is found in the oceans and is too salty for human use. A large proportion of the rest of the water is in the form of ice sheets and glaciers or under the ground. A very small percentage is available as fresh water for human. Oceans are a major part of hydrosphere and the ocean waters are always moving. Major oceans. First, the Pacific Ocean. It is the largest ocean. It is spread over 1/3 of the Earth. Mariana Trench, the deepest part of the Earth, lies in the Pacific Ocean. It is almost circular in shape. It is surrounded by Asia, Australia, North, and South Americas. The Atlantic Ocean is the second largest ocean in the world. It is shaped. It is flanked by the North and South Americas on the western side, and Europe and Africa on the eastern side. The coastline of Atlantic Ocean is highly indented. This irregular and indented coastline provides ideal location for natural harbors and ports. From the point of view of commerce, it is the busiest ocean. The Indian Ocean is the only ocean named after a country, that is, India. The shape of ocean is almost triangular. In the north, it is bound by Asia, in the west by Africa and in the east by Australia. The Southern Ocean encircles the continent of Antarctica and extends northward to 60 degrees south latitude. The Arctic Ocean is located within the Arctic Circle and surrounds the North Pole. It relates to the Pacific Ocean by a narrow stretch of shallow water known as Bering Strait. It is bound by northern coasts of North America and Eurasia. Atmosphere. The Earth is surrounded by a layer of gas called the atmosphere. It provides us with the air we breathe and protects us from the harmful effects of sun's rays. The atmosphere extends up to a height of about 1,600 kilometers. It is divided into 5 layers based on composition, temperature, and other properties. These layers starting from Earth's surface are called the troposphere, the stratosphere, the mesosphere, the thermosphere, and the exosphere. It is composed mainly of nitrogen and oxygen, which make up about 99% of clean, dry air. Nitrogen 78%, oxygen 21% and other gases like carbon dioxide, argon and others comprise 1% by volume. Oxygen is the breath of life while nitrogen helps in the growth of living organisms. Carbon dioxide absorbs heat radiated by the Earth, thereby keeping the planet warm and is also essential for the growth of plants. The density of the atmosphere varies with height. It is maximum at the sea level and decreases rapidly as we go up. Example, the climbers experience problems in breathing due to this decrease in the density of air. They must carry oxygen cylinders with them to be able to breathe at high altitudes. The temperature also decreases as we go upwards. The atmosphere exerts pressure on the Earth. Air moves from high pressure to low pressure. Moving air is known as wind. Biosphere is the narrow zone between land, water, and air. It is in this zone that life, that is on this planet, exists. There are several types of unique species that live on Earth. These species of organisms vary in size from microbes and bacteria to huge mammals. All the living organisms including humans are linked to each other in the biosphere for their basic survival. The organisms in the biosphere may broadly be divided into the plant kingdom and the animal kingdom. The 3 domains of the Earth interact with each other and affect each other in one way or another. Earth's surface may change due to natural calamities like earthquakes or tsunamis. A lot of times human activity can damage this natural biosphere and further affect the natural habitat. Example: cutting down forests to use wood to make furniture, industries releasing harmful chemicals into the lakes and other water bodies that can make them non-drinkable and usable. Power plants and vehicles pollute the air and release toxic gases, example carbon dioxide, although it is an important constituent of air. But an increase in the amount of carbon dioxide in our air leads to an increase in global temperatures. This is also known as global warming. Therefore, there is a need to limit the use of resources of the Earth to maintain the balance of nature between the 3 domains of the Earth that are lithosphere, the atmosphere, and the hydrosphere.